Hola, bienvenidos a todos to Rooted Latinas,
aka Raíces Latinas.
How are you, ladies?
Good.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready for a nap though.
Oh.
I know, right? We need to
Yes,
I need to go get some sugar.
I saw Yeymi ahorita and I was like, hey, I'm like, are you okay? And she was like, I'm just a little tired, but she's here.
I'm here.
We're over here giving you our energy.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, we're like screw finger.
Yeah, oh my God.
Yes,
I miss that movie. What's it from?
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Yes.
Well, we need your
Those were all
energy,
great.
Jamie. Today is
Yeah,
about
we
you.
do.
Oh
All
my
about
gosh.
you.
Yes.
We want to know
All right.
about you.
All right, let's bring it.
Yes.
What do you wanna know?
She's like, what do you want to know? Ooh,
Yeah.
y'all, what do you guys want to know about Yeymi?
Todo.
Yeah.
Un poquito de todo, Jamie.
Yeah, go ahead.
How did you? Well, first of all, just question. I think it can open up the conversation.
Yeah.
So our podcast name is Rooted Latinas.
Yeah.
So how have you been rooted
In Iowa.
in Iowa?
Well, I wasn't born here. Nací in Guatemala. So I was born in Guatemala, in the capital. And then my mom got married like super young. I think she was like 16 or 17 when she got married. Yeah. Because she really wanted to date my dad, but her grandma wouldn't let her unless they were married. So, and he was a little bit older, just like a few years older. He was a police officer. So yeah, so she got married super young. They had my older brother, who's 1 year older than me. Then she had me. Then she had my little brother, who's 2 years older than me.
And Yeymi, at this time, how old was your mom when she had you guys, if you don't mind me asking?
No, so I think she had my brother either like 17 or 18. So then had me at like 19 or 20. Yeah.
Wow. And the reason
Yeah, Mom.
I was asking is because a lot of things, different things came to my mind. Like back then, what have those cultural norms been to shifting to who you are today? I'm really curious.
Yeah, so I grew up with one of my cousins. It's funny you ask, but we were the same age, like best friends growing up, and she got pregnant when she was like 15, like right before her quinceañera. So then I don't think she even got to have one. But I was like, and she has 5 kids now, and I'm like, that would have been me. Like if I had not been brought here,
Oh, wow.
like that's just, back then and how things were and still today. Right? Like, you hear, like, cousins, family members having kids at a young age because, we're just not educated about all this stuff. And that's what my mom says, like, I didn't know about birth control, back then. So she had us 3 little ones. She probably would have had more about my dad. Because I was saying he was a police officer. He passed away working in Guatemala. So that's how we got to come to the U.S., actually.
Jeez.
Oh, wow.
How old were you when that happened?
When he passed, I was 3.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, so my mom had known my stepdad from when she was younger, and he was here working in Perry, Tyson. So that's how we ended up here. So when I was 7, I was still 7, he started talking to a coyote about bringing my mom and I here. And I had already turned 8 when we actually left Guatemala to come here. So we left in like November 1996. We left. Yeah, and started like our journey. And back then, like for 2 people, I think my stepdad spent like $7,000 for the 2 of us, which
That's
is cheap.
a lot of money, and
Back then.
especially back then.
Yeah. Pero ahorita que es doble, como 10,000
Sí.
o 12,000 para traerte,
Yeah.
familiar con coyote,
What like emotions or feelings or thoughts were going through your mind when that
Oh my God.
conversation was brought up?
I feel
you
like-
said you were 7.
Yeah.
8 up in
I just
us.
turned 8, the October before we came. But I just remember like just being so like, I don't know, just oblivious to everything, Like, me recuerdo cuando me fui saying bye to like my cousin, because my 2 brothers stayed with my aunt. So saying bye to my cousins and stuff and my brothers. And I was like, cuando llegue te voy a mandar nieve, okay? Like I was going to send her snow, like in the mail. That's how like
Why
our
did you
brain's
say
so innocent.
snow?
Because you always, you knew that in the U.S. there was snow.
Oh my gosh!
So I was gonna send her some snow.
Difference too, like Guatemala over here.
Yeah, it's like tropical all the time. It's hot.
Right?
Yeah,
Type.
jungle weather. Yeah. Yeah, so that's just like just how innocent like my little brain was. You know, like, oh, I'll send you some snow. You know, send it UPS, like,
right?
no big deal. FedEx it.
Jimmy, can you share, if you don't mind, share a little bit about your journey or what you remember? Like, what was that journey? What did that look like from the Guatemala all the way to Perry, Iowa?
Yeah. So it took us like 17 days to get here. So
17 days.
Yeah. So it was. We spent like 5 days like right at the border because we had to go like get into Mexico. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we spent like 5 days at this house in the border, still in Guatemala, waiting, you know, till it was safe to cross to Mexico. Then we went to Mexico, you know, we traveled a lot on like bus and stuff. So it's funny because when my mom and I talk about it, she's like, you lost so much weight because like I was like a little bit fuller. She's like, I lost so much weight because I was like, I get car sick easily. Mm-hmm. So I was always like puking. Like, so when I got here, I was like skinny, you know, but yeah, so it was a lot of like buses and stuff. And then we were llegamos a Guadalajara and we were there for, I think, a few days too. And then we came to Reynosa. So getting closer, you know, and had to wait there. But in Reynosa, I remember that was like the desert part. I think I told you once about how we had to sleep in the desert. And it gets so cold at night. And there was other people with us, and they were like literally like on the verge of crying. It was so cold at night.
Do you remember how you were feeling?
Yeah, I remember that feeling of like, obviously like the cold, and I have memories, you know, some memories. I remember my mom like taking stuff out of the backpack, like pantalones and our towel that we had in there, and asking other people if they could borrow other stuff they weren't using, you know, to like put on top of me to cover me. And she didn't have anything on herself. Like she was just sacrificing, you know. But yeah, it was super cold that night. Yeah, anyway, so we were there for a few hours, and the coyote was like, hey, get ready, because at like, wake up at 5 a.m. because at 6 a.m. we have to like cross, and we're going to have to run. You know, so my mom's like, okay, te voy a agarrar de la mano, I'm going to hold your hand. She goes, don't let go. She's like, I fell once. So, like, she picked me up and, like, wiped me down, and we kept running. Yeah, it was like,
not looking back
not
at
look
all.
back.
Yeymi, do you remember, like, when they told you guys had to wake up at this time? Did you guys even sleep?
I don't know. I maybe did because I was warmer than, you know, like, my mom and the other adults. But, yeah, I don't remember that, yeah.
I can't imagine, like, just even remembering, like, I feel like I feel your story in a sense, you know? So, okay, so once you get to Reynosa, you said?
Yeah. Yep.
So then you...
Yeah, so then we crossed into Arizona. We got to Arizona.
Okay. So that's where you arrived, in a sense?
Yeah, but then we had to wait like a couple days. We slept like in some lady's closet in Arizona. She let us stay there till somebody else picked us up to take us to California. Yeah. So California was where like then
where
from
you
there we came to Perry. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
How many people, and this is what comes to my mind, because when I'm hearing your journey, there was a lot of people that touched your life or in that situation. How do you see it any way that la gente que te ayudó to get to where you're at? Like, you're talking about you were sleeping in people's closets just to wait to cross. You were talking about how están pidiendo otra gente for like clothes or whatever just to keep warm. So I'm hearing like there was always someone to help you guys or guide you guys.
Yeah, like it was super crazy. And I mean, there's always going to be, you know, people that are like willing to give you like whatever they got in their backpack, you know. But my mom was saying at one point, so I don't know if it was after we ran through the desert, but she said we had to wait for somebody else to pick us up, you know, to get into Arizona. Había like a junk car. It was just abandoned. Like there was nothing in the car. It was just empty, like totally empty. But we hid in there until they picked us up. But she was saying that he told like a group of us, like, hey, get down, stay low, like Coyote did. And that he pulled like something out of his pocket and it was drugs, and he was like doing drugs as he's like freaking like, you know, bringing us here. But she's like, and at one point she's like, ¿De quién es la niña? And my mom's like, she's like, I held your hand so tight, and she's like, she's mine, you know, and she's like, because I didn't know if you wanted to do something to you, and could you imagine just someone being, because you don't know these coyotes. Coyotes are dangerous.
Absolutely.
Some of them.
You're making it sound like it's a breeze here.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, hold on.
And a lot of them are not just into smuggling people.
Oh, no.
Oh, right.
You know, like, yeah, so it's dangerous. I could not imagine, like,
being a mom, and I think about me putting myself in your mom's shoes and knowing how much she had to sacrifice for herself, but she wasn't thinking of only herself. She was thinking of all y'all.
Yeah.
Para tener algo mejor.
Damn. Just
2 years later, my brothers got to come, you know, and so, yeah.
Just hearing that portion of that, Yeymi, I feel like I got that sense of that energy of, like, you know, bringing back that, like, fear at the moment from, like, even your parents.
Yeah.
And
When she talks about it, I'm like,
gives you goosebumps, right? Yes.
because obviously she remembers it better. She was 26.
I was gonna say, I don't think that's something that you can ever forget. You know.
Yeah.
How do you feel that your journey has defined you and who you are today?
I think, like, la gente a veces te ve, like, now, thank God, you know, and because a lot of people have been, like, helped us throughout the way, you know, like, we don't get here by ourselves or being lucky, you know, but thankfully, like, all my family's documented now, you know. So everyone, like, vive con calma, you know, we've had the opportunity to help other people, and, like, you know, that's what we want. Like, that makes us feel good, you know, like, people helped us, we can help people, you know. But what was your question? Yeah.
No, I guess you did answer it. I was just asking, like, how has your experiences shaped who you are today and, like, your journey?
Yeah, pues, like, lo más importante, y les digo a las niñas que viven conmigo también, de que, like, uno, si llegamos humildes, nunca hay que cambiar. And I tell them all the time, I was like, don't change, like, hay que ser siempre los, you know, and be, like, proud of, like, who we are, right? Like, we all have our story, like, and people, like, but people don't know it, you know? Like, I don't walk around, like, telling people my story, you know? Like a handful of my friends probably know this, you know? Maria, my wife, it took, like, we were dating for years, and then finally, you know, like, I told her, and not because, like, I think it just came up out of, like, nowhere. And I was like, oh, I did some walk, like, I walked here, you know, something like that. I said jokingly, and she did not believe me for the longest time that, like, literally, like, that's how I got to the U.S.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, she had to verify with my mom. Like,
hold on, did you really walk over
did
here?
you walk over here? No.
Well, because if you think about it, how a lot of folks haven't had to live what you lived through. So I think sometimes it's hard to fathom in their mind that a little girl at 7, 8 years old is doing these adult things.
Yeah.
I think what sticks out to me, Yeymi, is, like, you didn't let that define you either. Like, it wasn't, sometimes I feel like we were having this conversation earlier about, like, you know, certain words that are used that really, if it gives us a sense of being defined. Like, we were talking about, like, our Latina real estate team, and it's like, wait a minute, should we have Latina? We're a real estate team. I don't want it to define us in another way or a different way, you know? And I think with you, like, you saying, like, it was years after you were dating that just happened to come up. It wasn't that it was something that you just said, you know?
You don't introduce yourself and you're like, hey, you know, like,
This is what happened.
this is how I got here. But now I'm not, yo no soy mojada, you know, like, whatever you call it, undocumented, like, you know, something like that. But I think what really, like, shaped me and, like, it made me, like, grow up. And it was, like, that, because my life changed, like, in an instant, was when immigration showed up to my house, and they were dressed in, like, just normal clothes, pulled in a red, like, Ford Escape, you know, parked there, normal clothes. So you don't know who's coming to your door, you know. And they showed up, and I opened the door, and it was immigration to get my mom and my older brother.
What?
Yeah. And then I was like, oh,
wait, how old were you then when that happened?
14. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's what really, like, I feel like marked me. And I felt horrible because that same day, my mom had been asking me, estaba cocinando pepián. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it.
¿Qué es pepián?
Amazing.
Noted.
Is it like
Need
a
to try
mole?
it.
Is it like
Yeah,
a mole?
Sí, es como mole.
Okay.
Guatemalteco. And she was asking me to help in the kitchen. And I was just like, I didn't want to. Like, I wanted to play, go outside and play soccer. Like, I didn't want to help her. So I was being a little bit of like, and she like repeatedly kept telling me. So when that happened, all of a sudden she's gone. I was like, I should have fucking helped her. You know?
Girl. It's those things in life that you're like, oh, si lo hubiera hecho, or, you know, the
Yeah.
what if.
Because then you feel better. You're like, fuck, I should have listened when she said this. I should have, you know, not done that. And that, I think, that moment, like, changed me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just soaking it all in right now.
How did you get through all of that?
I think it goes back to, like, the people around us, the support. We had people step up that, like, really didn't know us and were not family, like, offering to help take care of us, raise us, you know, do whatever they could, you know, till my mom got back to us. And luckily, like, 2 years later, she did. But, you know, like, these people, like, because of them, too, like, I am where I am today. Like, I am to take advantage of, you know, these opportunities that I have. Because I know, like, I'm, like, been very lucky and fortunate. Like, not everyone has, you know, I feel like, and, you know, I'm not going to say it's been easy, but it's been probably easier than other people.
Right.
You know, like, I don't feel like my story is, like, the saddest out there at all or none of that. Like, I feel, like, super lucky and fortunate. Like, you know, that we've had, like, the right people kind of show up and, like, hey, we can help. You're not family, but we're going to help. And now those people are my family.
Right.
You know?
And I think even the more beautiful part about you, Yeymi, is that now you are giving back, and you're not just stopping there with, like, your experience. Like, you're out there helping the community, being involved with la comunidad, educando, speaking the language. Like, I think that's where it's like we were having this conversation of, like, you know, we are very thankful where we're at, and we all have different stories. But where it goes further is us giving back and us teaching other people what we're learning, and that's how we keep growing our community, and that's what you're doing.
Yeah, it's not as fun if we're just, like, trying to better ourselves.
Right.
It's, like, all about me, and no, like, yeah.
And I think there's ciertos sentimientos que tú tienes que nobody else might understand, that you connect in another way.
Yeah, I felt that, you know, with people, and especially when they're afraid to tell you something, and you're like, it's okay, like, you know, like, you don't have to, like, not be yourself or open about something, you know, and stuff like that, which we all come across those people, you know, they're just afraid, and it's like, no, these times are better, like, you know, things are changing, like, you know, people are more open about their situations and stuff, and it's not like this big secret like it was, you know.
So once your mom gets back, what happens then?
When she gets back.
And she's with you guys now.
Oh, my God. Yeah. So that was amazing. You know, we moved back with her because we had moved, like, to Missouri for a couple years with this family. Those, like, basically took us in and helped us and did everything for us, you know. Yeah. And so we moved back when she moved back. And it was super sad living in Missouri, too, because then, like, you're kids and you're, like, you having friendships and this new family and stuff, you know. But obviously, like, nothing compares to, like, your mom and having your mom back and
home.
that family back. Yeah.
Right.
Home. Yeah. So we moved back to Perry and she was here. Y se vino otra vez así, like, con coyote y todo. Obviously, it was way more dangerous for her to come back that second time years later. But yeah, then after that, she's come a long way too. Like, we've helped her get documented, and she's living in more peace, you know, like all that stuff. So it's super exciting.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing your journey on how you got rooted here in Iowa. For anyone that's out there listening, is there something that, you know, really stood out to you during your life and what you've gone through that you're like, I wish I would have known this, or someone would have told me this, that might be able to help them out?
Yeah. I think, I'm trying to think, but I feel like because of that moment, like, where you have, like, your, like, family taken away, like, that's huge, you know? But yeah, I think just, like, not taking anything for, you know, yeah.
Because you never know.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Dang. So what's next for Yeymi?
Oh my God, you just gotta keep going. You know, like
I know Jamie's like,
yeah, whatever. Like make more connections in the community, help our community like grow and like get connected and all these things. Like just like the power of like networking and what we do and what we like. We love to do that. You know,
Yeah.
we have things going on in the community, and we just want people to see that there's like all these help and other people that can help, and like having connections is so important because, you know, we may be able to help each other or whatever, and like that, just helping our community, you know, like
It's huge because they say your net worth is your network. And now imagine
like
to
that.
continue to help not just yourself, like you said, but estamos ayudando a los demás to tap into your network. And that's what makes the biggest ripples effect. And I think that's what you're doing a really good job, as not only we are doing a good job, but not only in just mortgage world. What are you doing now?
yeah, recruiting. So helping people with, you know, find positions and stuff. And it's crazy. Like these people, you know, like you talk to them and they're taking care of so many people back home, like in their countries, you know, you're like, yeah, like I feel you, you know, like it's crazy.
So you're helping people find jobs.
Yeah.
Trabajos y casas. Got it.
Yeah.
For all those listeners out there, like connect with Yeymi if something I feel like I did not know your story. This is the first time I hear about it. And I think it's very inspiring because you never, like, I could see you had so much passion towards what you were doing and how you involved in the community, and even with soccer,
Yeah.
that, like, I could see why you work so hard too.
Yeah. So, you know, we just have to. I mean, you know, like, I literally, like, there's not, like, days that go by and you're like, dang, like, I'm so lucky to be here.
Right.
Yes.
You know, so lucky to be, you know, Guatemalteca and also Americanized too. Like, I am, like, Americanized, you know. I'm a little no sabo kid, like, whether, like, I want to admit it or not, you know.
We
Like,
figured that out on the first
Did we
episode.
record that?
We figured that
A
out.
little bit of no sabo kid. Not as much as you, but.
I'll accept it.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Well, that was awesome, guys.
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yes, for sure.
Appreciate it.
Can't wait to hear other stories.
Yes. Shout out to everyone for listening and tuning in to our second episode.
Yes. Make sure, if you're not already, follow Yeymi on her Instagram handle and Facebook. I don't know.
Sure.
What is it? So they can follow.
Yeymi Tobar.
Así nomás?
Yeah.
Así. Yeymi.
Oh, yes.
Make sure, because people spell it
Oh, yeah.
differently.
Yes. When I go places, it'll be like Jaymi. I'm like, yep. I know. I don't correct a lot of people. I should, but nah.
I like how it's spelled, though.
Yeah.
Y-E-Y.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Right, cheers.
Yes, cheers.
Yeah, that episode was depressing.
No. That was so good. And we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.